Assalamu alaikum dears, and greetings to all of you. Welcome dears to this video. I would be delighted to introduce an informative and quick session in this channel, which focuses on Islamic finance insights. Please support us by subscribing and following upcoming videos. So, let's start our session. Does sharing make Muslims risk averse? There is a common misconception that Islamic finance discourages investment because it prohibits the charging of interest. This misconception is often based on the idea that sharing profits and losses makes investors more risk averse. However, there is no evidence to support this claim. In fact, Islamic finance can actually encourage investment by providing investors with a more equitable sharing of risk and reward. This is because Islamic finance prohibits the exploitation of one party by another, and it requires that all parties involved in a financial transaction share the risks and rewards of the investment in a fair and equitable manner. One example of how Islamic finance can encourage investment is through the mudarabah contract. In a mudarabah contract, one party, the financier, provides capital to another party, the entrepreneur, to start or expand a business. The entrepreneur manages the business and is responsible for all of the day-to-day operations. The financier shares in the profits of the business, but does not bear any of the losses. This type of contract can encourage investment because it allows the financier to share in the potential profits of the business without having to bear any of the risks. This can be a more attractive proposition for investors than conventional interest-based loans, which require the investor to bear the full risk of the investment. Another example of how Islamic finance can encourage investment is through the musharaka contract. In a musharaka contract, two or more parties pool their capital to start or expand a business. The parties share in the profits and losses of the business in accordance with their respective contributions of capital. This type of contract can encourage investment because it allows investors to share in the ownership of a business and to participate in its management. This can be a more attractive proposition for investors than conventional interest-based loans, which do not give investors any ownership or control over the business. The misconception that Islamic finance discourages investment is based on a misunderstanding of the principles of Islamic finance. Islamic finance does not prohibit risk-taking. Rather, it prohibits the exploitation of one party by another. By providing investors with a more equitable sharing of risk and reward, Islamic finance can promote economic growth and encourage investment. The acting of Caliph Umar, may Allah bless him, is a perfect example. When he was told that a ship carrying his goods had sunk, he said, "Alhamdulillah," means praise be to Allah. When he was later told that the news was wrong and the ship had safely docked, he again said, "Alhamdulillah." This shows that Umar understood that the will of Allah is always good, whether it is good news or bad news. He was grateful to Allah for both, and he knew that Allah would always provide for him and his people. This attitude of gratitude and trust in Allah is essential for investors in Islamic finance. When investors are willing to share the risks, rewards of Islamic finance business, they are more likely to be successful in the long run. In this point, we reach to the end of today's session. I hope that this video provided an informative and quick session. If you are interested in this area, kindly subscribe in the channel because we are planning to provide deep information as well as the latest reports and news about Islamic finance. We look forward to your subscribing, your like, as well as your suggestions in the comments. Have a good time and best regards.